Once again, I would like to touch up on a topic concerning this part 3 series of why are blacks leaving their communities behind. And perhaps, as you know, or if you already don't know, is something I've been expanding on in the other part 2 series of this video topic. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't know that I was going to end up making another part 3 out of this, because there are other subjects, particularly pertaining Operation Exodus, Mississippi, that I would like to go on and get into. But right now, where I'm at in the space that I'm in, is something right now that I don't have room to stomach for, although I do support Operation Exodus, Mississippi, because I am a part of that platform. So don't get me wrong when I say that I don't have time to stomach on that subject right now. I just need to really get this out again about why blacks are leaving their communities behind here in the United States and moving to white areas or other communities where other ethnic groups are, or taking their resources and going to places where they, in fact, feel like they could live their own lives as best as possible in peace, as well as raising their families in peace and living out the rest of their lives with their families in peace without constantly being up under the threat of fear or worry or cautiousness because of people who look like them that may eventually try to attack them some kind of way in terms of violence or, and stuff of that nature. And because of just plain jealousy, self-hatred and envy that goes along with that. And, but however, what prompted me to make this part 3 series of this topic that I'm going to go on and get into, tonight I encountered a situation. Okay, I was on my way home, coming back here from hanging out in the downtown area of the city I live in. And, I'm on my way home with some food in my hand that I purchased from a restaurant downtown. And so I see 2 dark-skinned brothers walking past me. They both look like they was young, either in their late 20s or 30s, somewhere around that. And of course, both of them looked like they were gang affiliated because both of them had on red hats. One had on the red, hoodie sweat jacket, and both of them was wearing like jogging tight pants that was hanging down, like you usually see in the same narrative stereotype of most of the young black males in this country. And so, me being in my early 50s and me being what I've been through as a dark-skinned male and a dark-skinned descendant of slaves born in America, I could identify to degrees of why they may be going through what they're going through, but it's still no excuse you know, and the thing about it is that I have to say that it comes to the point, similarly, like it would say in this biblical passage, where you, as a child, you do the things as a child do, and then you grow into being a man and start doing the things that a man do, you know. And with that said, you know, I have to say this is that, you know, obviously a lot of our younger brothers, not only here in this local area where I'm at, but throughout the country, just have a ignorant tendency, I guess, of looking at every other black man or woman in general as a nigga, since that's how they see themselves. And they see everybody who might look dark-skinned, woolly haired like them, of course, and feel the same way. Which is, of course, as someone would tell me, a hangover from chattel slavery. And I definitely agree with that, you know, and that's a fact. You know, as my brother Taalik will quote another brother, King Noble, is saying. And it's like they're not going to be so quick to try to come down on a white person or anybody else that don't look like them, because that's the way their minds have been trained. That's the way their minds have been conditioned to think, especially when they run across someone on the streets that look like them. Now, mind you, like I said in the last part 2 video I made, where I'm at, it's not that many black people, or particularly, you know, descendants of slaves who were born in America. You know, descendants, dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. And of course, you know, I encountered a situation tonight where I was walking again, like I was saying before, and I came across these 2 brothers. Now, mind you, one of them, I know they're involved in illegal activities. As a matter of fact, it's also a fact that it was being spread around that one of them, who I'm speaking about, was in jail, because I hadn't seen him around here for a while. So obviously he must have just got out of jail. And the other one that he was with, you know, I didn't know him. And really, the other one I just spoke on, I didn't know him other than just by way of acquaintance, because I used to see him at a local coffee cafe here in this neighborhood where I live in. And to come find out, everybody found out he was trying to sell drugs in front of that cafe. So, you know, with me being a concerned regular customer at the cafe, and also a concerned law-abiding member of the community, the quite natural best thing and right thing for me to do is to speak up about it. So I spoke up with the people that worked in the cafe, and they eventually ended up calling the police and getting them involved in it. And this particular individual I'm talking about felt the pressure coming down So him and his crimes, his partners in crime eventually stopped coming over there trying to do anything illegally in front of that business establishment, which is, patronized by those of law enforcement and even those who are in politics, as well as lawyers, judges, and things of that nature. And the fact that this is the state capital of a state where I'm living in. And, we talking about a place that's in close proximity from the state capital, which is in close proximity from the courthouse, and stuff like that. And so, like I say, quite naturally, them people don't want that type of stuff going on around their business, which is definitely understandable. Because if I owned that place of business, I wouldn't want that going on either. In my business, as far as in front of my business establishment or anywhere near it, that would draw that type of negative attention to my business establishment, which eventually would end up hurting business and drawing away the type of clientele customers that I mentioned that patronize that business. So, like I said before, I spoke out, and obviously this particular individual who I ran across, he must still have some kind of ideal that I spoke out about it, which I did, although I didn't necessarily involve the law, because that was up to those who ran the business establishment or worked there to handle that part. All I did was help put out a warning about it or say something about it, well, there's other people in the community that are law-abiding members that complained about the same thing as I did in that case. So, I wasn't by myself either on that note, but however, it was still the right thing to do. If those of you who are, in the comment section or out in YouTube land could understand where I'm coming from. And that's not indoctrinated under the criminal mentality mindset of being a snitch or telling on somebody. Because mind you, those of us, as myself, who's not into criminal activity, do have a right to that recourse. If we feel like we want to get the law involved in a situation that may, concern a crime being committed, okay? I mean, that's just that simple. And so, that's our right. Especially if we want to feel safe in that environment, especially as customers who spend our money in a place of business and don't need to be hassled around those just hanging there to cause trouble or to make other people's lives or existence miserable because they want to be criminals and do foolish things in front of a place of a business establishment. So like I said, getting to my point is that this particular individual already feel like I had something to do with the police being called on him, which I could less care, and as far as the rest of those that was involved in obviously crime or drug transaction that took place in front of that business establishment. And but he saw me, and as I was walking by, I was trying to let him and the other guy get by, and they went to looking at me, of course, with the intimidation look, and then one guy who walked right past me with the other guy on the opposite side of him made some comments that I didn't take too kindly to. And so I got into an immediate protection mode position. And I was even threatened that I would be shot. Okay? And so once again, this is the first time I directly have experienced something like that since I've lived in this particular area where I'm living at. And also, I felt this need. I was going to continue on walking home, but then I thought about it. I said, no, I'm not going to let these idiots intimidate me when I should have the right to walk up the street as far as being on my way home. I should have a right to walk up the sidewalk in peace, especially when I'm on my way home, like in this case, and I'm being hassled or harassed by people that don't got nothing better to do but to try to start crap and make other people's lives miserable, like I said before. So, like I said, this is the type of stuff I was talking about in my earlier Part 2 series videos on this subject of why Black people, especially those with resources that's able to pack up and move out of Black communities, do so. Because they're tired of living under such constant threats, not knowing if they gonna walk out their apartments and make it back to their houses or apartments alive. Just like the same thing that I more so had to experience living in major city metropolitan areas compared to the smaller city that I live in. And so like I said, it's crazy because although, that same mindset transcends color boundaries as well. But at the same time, what's crazy about it is, like I said, it's not that many Black people here where I'm living at. And then you got the Caucasian as well as the races among them who are the majority here. But so you would expect, as a dark-skinned person like myself, that it would be expected for me to catch that type of flack more so from them. But no, who do I catch it more from? Those that look like me. So anyway, as I was continuing on, I thought about continuing on walking home and forgetting about it, but I said no. So I followed them up to a place where I could get get into this one business establishment that was still open at that moment. So I seen them and I confronted them and walked on in the store. I didn't let myself get dragged down to their level, however. So as I proceeded, I went on and did the right thing, and I called 911 myself. This time, I personally called 911 because I have a right to walk up the street when I'm not bothering nobody and I'm just minding my business. And then out of nowhere, I get threatened, especially for being mistaken as someone else, which happened also in this case. Is one reason why they said something to me, because they thought I was somebody else or whatever, and all that crap. So, like I said, I went and called 911, and they came through, and I made a complaint about it. And so, as I was on my way home after I got through talking to the police, after they came to see what was going on, they started circling around the area, looking for the individuals that I made the complaint about. And if I had to do it again all over, I would. Because I don't have to get ignorant like them and be drugged to their level. I let these white people deal with it. Whether you want to call them devils, serpents, or whatever, I let them deal with it. And whatever happened from there, hey, as far as I'm concerned, that's their choice of the matter, because they made a choice to, hassle me and try to intimidate me, as well as threaten me in terms of my life. Because the one that threatened me had a backpack on. And of course, I didn't know if he had a weapon in there or not. But I really wasn't taking no chances either. So, like I said before, this is the type of stuff that goes on when you're dealing with your own kind as a descendant or dark-skinned descendant of a slave born in America. And I'm just sick of it. Now, mind you, at this point in time, in the future, I don't have no problems moving somewhere where it's a lesser populated area, especially in a lesser populated state. I don't have no problem with that. Even if it means that I got to be around nothing but Caucasians or different other nationalities in terms of them being the majority. Now I understand, like I said, that there are, Ray-Rays and Pookies in every different culture, whether they Caucasian, Mexican, Asian, Chinese, Korean, Arab. Yeah, you got a Pookie and Ray-Ray somewhere in every culture. But at the same time, like I say, internally, it is always turns out that being dark-skinned, descendant of slave born in America, you have to encounter this type of situation from those who look like you or I. And that's just a plain out fact. And I'm coming to see that in my experiences of even living in a smaller city area. The more and the more I look at the fact of the matter is that, I cannot blame those blacks who lead the black community. I just can't continue, especially, like I said before in the other video, when other blacks are not trying to do nothing about their condition or making sure that their communities are safe places to live, while they sit up on their hound and complain all the time about the crime growing in their communities, but they not willing to be men and women to get out there and organize and do anything about that. So where I'm at on that is, I really don't want to hear that complaining when they see more and more numbers of black people leaving their own black communities and moving somewhere else, whether they got enough resources to do it with or not, because, when you want to continue on living among savages, and because you're immune to that environment, or you don't care nothing about being in that environment, and that's where you choose to be. Don't hate on other people that choose to do the contrary by leaving out of that environment for their best interests and for their family's best interests. That's all I'm saying. And the thing about it is that, this pro-black conscious crap, where they use as a catalyst to judge those among our people who make choices like that. Hey, it's like this. Maybe if you understood and asked them why they were leaving or why they left, instead of just prejudgingly criticizing them, then maybe your outlook would change. But see, because it's not happening to you in regards of people shooting your house up randomly, like they did that 85-year-old woman's house in Detroit months before the shooter got caught, because he was shooting up several other houses throughout the same community that 85-year-old woman lived in. Like I said, maybe you would have a different outlook if it was one of your families that was victimized, or somebody close to you, or yourself being victimized. Maybe you would understand where he's coming from, or where she's coming from, in terms, instead of calling them Uncle Toms and sellouts and all this other crap that you people, mainly in the pro-black conscious community, refer to black people who move out of the black communities and go elsewhere, to start their lives over. And like I said before, it's just not right. When I was under that so-called blackity-black conscious mindset, I thought the same way. But as I grew, once again, I started unlearning certain things. And I no longer, as a result, criticized them for making that choice of leaving out their own black communities, because they want to be in a better, safer environment, as well as for they self and families. So like I say, we cannot criticize these people like that. We cannot continue to do that as other dark-skinned people. We can't continue to do that. Unless we willing to help create a safe haven, an environment for them, to where they ain't got to leave out their own black communities, then we need to shut the hell up about that. When you want to make complaints about black people leaving the community, especially when they got resources to take along with them while they're leaving out their own black communities to move somewhere else, to live out their own lives, So, I mean, at the end of the day, for real, it's like, I'm just at the point, to be honest, like I said before in other videos, even if I ran across races or Caucasian people with that same ignorant mindset that the Negroes have, in terms of being ignorant when it comes to being violent or aggressively prone to their own kind, or threatening or intimidating their own kind, because that's all they live to do every day, because they ain't got nothing else better to do. At least I know how to deal with that directly. At least that's something I could expect coming directly from them. You know, in terms of the history of dark-skinned people's relations with the Caucasian in this country. So I could expect that due to that fact. But with dark-skinned people, we're supposed to be trying to, you know, separate ourselves from that, especially that mentality, like I said, which is a after effect of slavery, or after effect from slavery, you know, and it's just, like I say, that's just the facts. And if you don't want to accept it, if you want to, even, that's still your choice. But the point is that if you don't want to see other black people leaving the black community because of the reasons that I just mentioned in this video, then you need to do something about that. You need to organize, and that's what, part of this campaign platform that I'm coming from, Operation Exodus Mississippi, is about. That's what's basically, one of the criterias concerning this campaign of Operation Exodus Mississippi, so that we could carve out our existence by taking over the politics of a state such as Mississippi, where we could carve out a different existence, where we can be able to finally grow to live among each other in peace and be able to respect each other as a fellow brother, a fellow sister, a fellow man and woman and child, you know. And of course, you know, it don't make no difference what your religion or other belief or theological or ideological persuasion is. But what importantly matters, without the religion aspect of things being involved, is that we naturally learn to grow, to learn how to live in peace among each other and deal with each other. Like I say, we don't need to look at each other as gods and all that either, or use any other type of religious or spiritual symbolism to connect this ideal in terms of how we treat each other. You know, because in fact, religion, if anything, is the cause mainly of us being separated and divided. Well, we got to be violent toward each other. Well, we got to be envy and jealousy of each other. And this also transcends racial lines. But of course, because of our history as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, our history with that is more in depth and more unfortunate, that we really need to carve out a safe haven and a sanctuary so that we could be able to live civilly among each other again as a people. Like I said, which you ain't got to belong to no religion to make this reality happen in this way that I'm speaking of. So, you know, like I said before, you know, we have to understand that at the end of the day, we are in a serious situation, a volatile situation as a people, where we got to start changing some things. because nobody else is going to do it for us. And of course, our 400-year-old slave master oppressor is not going to do it for us, nor anyone else. No God, no Savior, no mother plane, spaceship coming out the sky, or none of that other mythical stuff that don't exist as reality. It's not going to do it for us. We got to be our own saviors, as I saw someone quote out of a comment section under a previous video I saw, or that I was in a couple of nights ago. And like I said, we got to save ourselves. If we truly want to exist any longer as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, in this country, we're going to have to change this around, because this situation is doing nothing, let alone all the oppression that we're suffering from the external enemy, which is outside of us as a group of people, or rather to say outside of our group, simply is put. We're doing things such as what I just spoke on in this video, to the point where fear among us, fear among ourselves, fear among each other is growing rapidly. Where you find that blacks are becoming more scared of other black people. And I don't know what to say. There's really nothing too much I can say, even to try to refute that. But I know it's a lot of you all that's in YouTube lands that have that tendency to want to be know-it-alls, that of course ain't going to agree with what I'm saying. But like I say, facts and truth supersedes all, and don't need support to stand on its own when it comes down to the ultimate truth of things. So, which are not even agreeing with what I'm saying, don't matter in that case at the end of the day. And, I just want to make this point clear and to be put out forth into cyberspace and social media, so that people could be aware of what's going on among us. Once again, we have to change our conditions. We have to get our minds off of this sport and play. What's going on with a celebrity, or what's going on with this, Atlanta housewife, a New York housewife, stuff that's not even significant in terms of the realities of what we face as a people every day in this country, as far as being dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. So, as I said before, I really had to put this out there, because, it just didn't make no sense, especially when I moved to the side to let these individuals get by me, so I could keep going or heading on to where I was trying to get to, which was here at home where I'm at now, in the comforts of my place, and I'm just, I'm just tired of having to live like this. So, at the end of the day, especially assumingly because of the strong disunity among our people, where we can't even come together on a common collective one accord basis, if this Operation Exodus Mississippi thing then as a result don't work, I may be somewhere in another state, like I say, where you hardly might even run into other black people at all, because there are pockets of America that exist like that. So, just know that that's where you will find me, even if I'm speaking from a social media platform. That's where you will find me at. In one of them states where it's hardly black people that even exist at all. Or rather to say, if at all, period. So, hey, I know it sounds harsh and it sounds unfortunate to even have to make a decision like that, especially with the kind of history that black people in this country got with white people. But hey, it is what it is. We got to, like I heard one sister on the Tommy Sotomayor video say, we got to start in ourselves to live in the best way we can in our own lives in terms of setting an example for others. If we really want to help make a difference in the case of our people's plight as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. So, like I said, it is what it is. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this stuff. I'm going to just give it to you, in the raw, as real as possible. Because if I would do otherwise, it would be, fake. Just to put it that way. So, like I said before, I just want to just speak on that and just know that, we still got to live every day no matter what. And we ain't got to walk around living in fear, but at the same time, we have to be cautious also. And unfortunately, when it comes to dealing with those other dark-skinned ones that look like us, unfortunately. So, like I said before, before I close out again, yes, I know there are white people as well as other different ethnic groups or races of people that have that same hood mentality, for those of you that call it that, that's caught up in a rat race and all that other crap, and don't, or the crab and bucket type of mentality, but at the same time, it's unfortunate that we have to worry more about this threat of existence coming from our own people who look like us. Okay? Because like I said, if we do get attacked in that such a manner by a Caucasian especially, we definitely know most of the time that ain't coming from nothing but the cataclysm of racism. Of course, we know that ain't coming from nowhere but the aspect of racism 90-some% of the time. So we know what to expect when we have to be confronted with that coming from a Caucasian, or other people who don't like us, of course. Okay, so but as I said before, because of the fact that we do this more to each other, to make people's lives miserable is once again the reason why I can't speak out against other Black people leaving their Black communities. I can't. It's no way possible in that manner that I can. So, with that said, I'm going to go on and end this topic in this video. And for those of you listening in the comment section and then throughout the rest of YouTube land and social media, I want to just say peace.